So what I was going to start out asking you about is just like, what's comedy like right now? Like, what's the
It's not. I'm always like I'm on the event horizon of
hmm
doing comedy at any given time. I just bought a van, so next week I'm starting my every show in the Bay tour, 2023. Every show in the Bay tour, 2023, where I do every show in the Bay, but like not every show, but
How many shows are there in the Bay?
I don't know, but I'm gonna do them all. I'm gonna do all of them.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
many? Well, how many shows in the Bay have you done? Probably already.
probably all of them.
But
I don't.
not in 2023.
No. No, I quit comedy.
When? When did you quit comedy?
I always quit
Oh.
comedy. It's a constant state of quitting. Every show I do is a move towards quitting.
Well, how did you get into comedy?
Um, but in high school, um, I was in the piano closet with my friend, and we were watching Louis C.K. videos, and I was like hung up about some guy, and I was sad, and I needed like an art form, so I didn't want to do music because it felt like there's too much equipment and like technical know-how and like math. But I like music a lot. But
I do too.
yeah. So, but
It's
I didn't want to do it. So I did comedy.
it's a tough when if you ever go to open mic nights and there's music and like they have room for like a
Yeah.
couple comedians, but it's mostly music.
Yeah. Yeah, like a mixed mic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they usually limit comedians, right?
Right.
Like they have their own list. Like, oh, you're a comedian. You're like every fifth person,
That's
and we're
right.
gonna draw you out of a separate bucket, 'cause we come in droves, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the people who are doing music, they don't need to,
yeah,
or it's just a different set of requirements. I don't know.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry, I have to interject. Has
please.
anyone ever told you you look just like Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, that's
You've gotten that?
that is
Okay.
the celebrity comment I've gotten. Yeah, I
Yeah, that's the
suppose.
one. That's amazing. Anyway.
Right on. Thank you. I think. Yeah.
Eh,
No.
eh,
Yeah.
no,
Thank you.
no.
Yeah. No. It's definitely
That's
definitely a thank you.
okay, good.
Yeah.
You just need the gap teeth. You gotta go get that installed.
I totally had them as a kid. A
Oh.
lot of braces, a
Mm.
lot of money spent to keep me from looking just like Willem Dafoe, I guess.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't know if I probably didn't have a resemblance
Yeah.
when I was 15 and
Yeah.
getting braces. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, where were we?
Well, so what is that like? When I started doing this podcast earlier on, I did like an episode, like a style episode, just so I could talk about my hair or whatever. But, like,
That's some hair. That's like almost friar-esque, like a friar or like a medieval
Okay, yeah, like
thing.
yeah, George Washington or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you do
Friar
that?
Tuck or whatever.
What is that?
uh, well, I think like when I was younger, I liked Metallica so I kind of liked long hair then, but also like I got the idea of doing dramatic things with my I shaved weird things in my head when I was in college, like or I shaved my head or like
Hmm.
got a so like somehow I don't it's just like but normal haircuts like depress me or like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
I'm
like cropped.
I'm thinking about going towards normal now. Cropped, yeah.
It's like you cropped it. Like, what would it look like combed? Like, what would that? Is it
I comb
combed?
it.
Is it? It's just really curly,
Yeah, it is just
and
curly.
it's cropped. That's what it is.
Cropped, meaning
Like it's got like a. It's like almost too short. It's like, but it's not.
I got it cut.
It's a bob.
I got it cut. I got like an inch and a half taken off like a few months ago, and
Okay.
they did some stuff to it,
Hmm.
but yeah, but yeah, like, but right, like my friend was saying I should probably Well, he said lean into it, but you got to take better care of it if you're gonna have long hair. But I sort of stuck between like wanting to be like clean cut, like a clean cut look, and then like want like some kind of wild man look. You know, it's like I don't know, can't decide which way I'm going.
Yeah.
Decide.
I could see that like war going on right now in your hair. Like it almost wants to be
right
shaped. It's like a wild hedge. It's like, I'm sorry. No, I think it looks great.
Thank you.
I think it looks. I've never seen hair like that. So definitely original.
Well, yeah, and part of it is just like you want to grow. You like it's like, oh, people tell me that, like, oh, I wish my hair would grow long or whatever. Like girls will tell me that, like, oh, I wish I had the hair like that or whatever.
You know, me and you have the same haircut. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, like look at this. It's about cheek level. It's just your hair has different. Sorry, what were you saying about girls and men?
Well, I mean, but also that so part of the reason I don't cut it short is just because it's like, flaunt it if you got it, like, you know, just like might as well.
You have great hair, great bushy hair.
Yeah, you have great hair too.
Oh, thanks.
It's cropped a little shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cropped. We got the crop. Yes.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of when I like use the word cropped.
Yeah. I don't know. I crop a lot though.
I mean, I think of like corn and crops, like crops of wheat. Like wheat is the wheat crop, but then there's.
I think of like photo cropping.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cropping your pants and yeah. No.
Who are your biggest? Well, no, actually, let me ask you this, because part of the only reason I talked about my hair in this episode was because from comedy I learned, like, or I heard somebody maybe say it, like, you want to talk to the audience about what they notice about you.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah.
but how do you? Yeah. So but do you think that's a good rule? Do you
like, should you do that?
Yeah. Do you?
No. I mean, it's one of those rules that are. At this point, it's become a trope. It's become like, I guess if you want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I haven't found a different take on it, so I haven't done it. So many people do the like opener of like, I am this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now here we go. But I don't. I feel like it's very obvious. I try to play to the top intelligence of the room, as the old Bill Hicks principles. I go by those principles. I try to go by those principles as much as I can. But one of them is to play to the top intelligence of the room. And if you're saying that, then you're not really doing that. So.
Right. So if you're the top intelligence of the room, I guess. Huh.
Unless you can find a different take on it. I mean.
Yeah.
If you can, I mean, I've heard some interesting. I can't even recall them because they weren't that interesting. I mean, I feel like I have heard some interesting identity joke openers. And and takes on that, but I don't lean on it. I don't lean on it very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you would have. So you said you're in a wheelchair. Like, what's
Yeah.
What's your? Why are you like? What is your
What
diagnosis?
happened? What happened? I have a genetic condition called spinal muscular atrophy that runs in my family. And there's science. I don't know if you want to hear the science, but it's just we have motor neurons. We have to hire people to take care of us, and they're
Uh-huh.
neurotic as fuck, and they drive me fucking crazy. Let's not make this highlight public. No,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
no, it's fine. I don't care.
No, yeah, that's cool.
But no, it's fine. Um, no, it's just a genetic motor neuron condition
Yeah, yeah.
that impairs muscle movement.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I somehow like I notice just hanging out with you a little bit now. I'm sort of more aware of your body and like the way you move it than I maybe had been before. And maybe
Oh,
I don't know
cool.
if that's because I'm used to seeing you perform or seeing you
Yeah.
as a performer. So I'm just like in that context, it's just a matter of like
Yeah.
there you are, and then there's your voice, right? And like so you
Yeah.
don't, I don't know, focus in on as much as like how do they do the things they're doing.
How do they do it?
Yeah,
Let's find out. No, it's good. Yeah, I'm cool looking. I know. Thank you.
yeah. So what so like I guess it is if you're talking to a crowd and you want to talk to the top intelligence in the room, is that I don't know. How do you decide what the top intelligence in the room is? Like, does that mean you talk about science or?
No. No, it's more I don't feel like obvious observations are necessarily. I don't know. I feel like you never know who's the top intelligence of the room,
Sure.
and you don't want to obviously make judgments based on appearances or anything, or location or wherever. But you just assume that they're in there. I mean, you assume
Most
that,
of you.
and if they're not, then you can adjust. I mean, it's not like I'm telling rocket science jokes.
Right.
I'm just not wasting breath on things that I don't find funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rule of thumb that
Yeah.
every comedian should do. Like, if I don't find it funny, and like identity humor, like I talk about my condition, like
Yeah.
I do have jokes pertaining to the state that I find myself in.
Yeah.
But I like to, it's an aspect of my comedy. I don't think it's the crutch of it, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Someone can debate that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I figured that well no I mean like another thing about identity, like I forget what I was gonna say, so
That's okay.
but I remember some other things are popping up, such
Okay.
as you talk about identity. Like it seems like in a lot of rooms, like there's a lot of maybe 10 years ago more there would be like more jokes about all the like race and so there's identity topics, but maybe there are those like the crowd's more nervous now. Do you think?
Oh, 'cause of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just different. I think the lines are moved a little
Uh-huh.
in different directions. I think certain perspectives are valued more than others, which, I don't even put a moral judgment on that.
Mhm.
That's just the way it kind of turns out, when you have conflicts between races and things like that, and power dynamics and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think people are maybe more sensitive in some areas and in a lot of areas, but in other, it's all about tact, you know.
Mhm.
Read the room. You're in this business. You're selling something, so sell it. Yeah.
You're selling something as a comedian. You're selling yourself, like you're
Trying to.
Yeah.
Trying to. I don't think I'm gonna sell out, and you never want to do that. But you should probably start selling if you want to do it more, and you want to do better rooms.
Okay.
Then you want to get more out of the craft, then you eventually should try to monetize.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. Look,
Mm.
I never thought about selling out, but it's like, okay, so are there any comedians that you think of? Okay, like is Jay Leno an example of
It's
selling
Jay
out?
Leno, fella. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on Jay Leno?
What are my thoughts on you know, I don't have like a really reliable opinion because I haven't like
Yeah,
seriously studied Jay Leno.
sure.
But I mean, I haven't. People I know don't like him, and
Yeah, yeah.
I mean he's fine. I think he went into a niche that paid a lot of money, and yeah, he probably did sell out. But I don't think. What if he didn't even have the talent not to do that
Right,
in the first place?
right,
Maybe that's all. That's what he's good for.
right,
He wouldn't be able to not sell out because he wouldn't sell shit. So
right, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think I feel kind of the same way. Like he's
Yeah.
like I've heard them talk about how like I've heard him talk about how he would like throw in like a he was doing kind of what you're talking about where you tell jokes that he didn't think were funny,
Yeah.
but he was like, well, that's the gig. This is this kind of time slot or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe you have one joke for the clever people, and then
Yeah, I
you have a
mean,
joke that's
well,
throwaway.
you
This,
can change
this or
jokes.
that.
I mean, I think all your jokes should be smart.
Mm-hmm.
But you can cater them to different rooms,
Mm-hmm.
like with different sensibilities and you know.
So I know you as a comedian. Is that what you're? I mean, I should back up? Like, is that mostly who you are, or is that like not really? That's just one of many things you're doing right now. Like, what's
I'm definitely
the identity? Let's talk about. Is the comedian an identity, and what's is it the right identity?
I have split personality.
You have split personality.
Disorder,
all right.
no.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I do want to do comedy. I've had like a love-hate with it
Yeah.
for a while. As every comedian does, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's easy
No.
to just do it. But and I tell myself sometimes I don't want to do it, but I always go back to it. Like 'cause it gets me out of the house. Gets this old cripple out of the house. And I got this van now, so I kind of have to start doing it. I'm getting ready to launch out of the house. But I've been doing comedy for a long time, and that's what I really want to do. And I've been working a lot more freelancer gigs, like as a day job. I've got some day jobs, so that's my other identity, I guess.
Okay.
But I like making movies too, a
Yeah?
little bit, yeah. So I don't know. I just I like acting a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking that like like people who are funny in movies were kind of like was what attracted me into comedy. Is that kind of
Yeah.
your story also? Like,
No, maybe. Well, I didn't really like comedy growing up. Actually, it was kind of funny. My dad always like made me watch it, and I didn't like it, like Chris Rock and all this thing. And I didn't like it 'cause I couldn't understand how they did it. Like they was like they're not writing all those jokes. They can't just make everyone laugh on command like that. What is this magician? You know, the fuck does he think? And it made me mad. So I like tuned it out, and I just like scoffed at it. But what was the original question?
how'd you get into comedy? Like, was it?
Oh no. I don't know. I just did it once, and I was really good at it. I did it at like a high school talent show.
Okay, so you're young.
Yeah, and I liked. Oh yeah, the movies. That's right. That's you were asking about the movies.
Yeah.
No, I dated several filmmakers in a row, and like one of my best friends a filmmaker, and so that all kind of just rubbed off in the past like 7 years. So that's when I got into more film
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Uh-huh. What
Yeah.
to me, I think that's like the other most popular topic besides like identity, like, because comedians like to push boundaries. So like there's a lot of identity stuff around like people's discomfort around that or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like,
Yeah, I do that. I talk about that.
but the other favorite subject I think people have is like dating. So,
Mhm.
and I feel like yeah. So is that your why is that?
Yeah, I mean,
Why is dating such a good
cause it's
source
got
of comedy?
cause it's got dick and pussy in it. No, I think, and that's another crutch. I mean,
Okay.
like
Just say
I mean, I'm not innocent of crutches.
uh-huh, sure.
I talk a lot about dating. I was having some writer's block, and I was torn up about other bullshit, like heartbreak bullshit all the time. So I thought, okay, I should date more so I can have more material. So
Uh-huh.
every guy I go out with is a joke. Like they're all joke. Like they all turn into jokes. And I usually tell them their joke. Like I'm not like secretive about it. I'm like, this is your joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes they're okay with it, and sometimes they're not. Usually when they're not, it doesn't work out. I don't know. It's just but I think it is a crutch. I am using it formulaically right now for material. Its sex is funny. It doesn't make as much money as a clean humor, but
But it's so yeah, that's true. Oh, I see what you're saying. So like it's a
I guess
crutch
you can
to
make
it's a crutch
dating
to
clean.
it's a crutch to use profanity. I mean,
Yeah,
fucking so
fucking and sucking.
yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, and I think you could like, if you're a good clean comic, you could have dating jokes that are clean. Like it's not you can be Sex in the City.
That's right. Yeah,
Like
exactly. Dating jokes is not synonymous for like raunchy humor.
yeah, it just is for me.
It
So it's you know
yeah, yeah.
how it goes.
No, yeah, and not being able, like, I mean, I guess Jerry Seinfeld makes a lot of money as a clean comic, but that's rare. Like that's the exception.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of clean comics that we know about because they're on TV, and that's how you get on TV. Unless you're on Comedy Central or something, but I'm talking about like late night and things like
I
that.
guess. I mean,
I think,
I don't think
right?
of them as even comics, though. I guess, yeah, like what's it,
Humorous.
Fallon or
He's
whatever. Like,
humorous.
yeah.
I'm talking about the stand-ups that go up and do like little sets.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Like on those guys' shows, the guys,
Yeah.
the comedians. That
Yeah,
they
you have to have a
host.
clean set. But I think it's. I think Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, I liked Seinfeld.
Sure.
I think it's sometimes we underappreciate Seinfeld because like I don't know, like he didn't. I don't think he aged as well as some other comics. I don't know. Like he's just kind of, and like I don't know. I don't know enough about comedy history, but I think he did maybe invent like a little bit of an observational style.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. So that's like
like
credit to him for that. Yeah.
right. But then we all feel like it's stale
Right.
because it is stale.
Right.
But he
'Cause
did
everybody
invent
imitated
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he did like do it. So it's like you have to respect him for that. I think Brian Regan's really funny. I think
I've heard that.
he's a good
I
clean
tried to
comic.
start following him or something like that on some, but I haven't really watched enough of him to.
You know what? I
It's-
follow Instagram. Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I think I do follow
Because he
him there.
does little clips that are just so fucking. They just brighten my day.
But you know what I noticed is like it's hard to find the commitment necessary to like watch an entire
Yeah.
stand-up special.
I
It's like
agree.
there's guys who I like them in theory, but I'm not like I don't want to like press play on their like 45-minute special or whatever.
I agree. Unless Bo Burnham's pretty entertaining.
Okay,
I know that's like different.
that
That's like
in,
performance art.
that the inside special was like
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean
a
I thought
joke.
that was pretty amazing. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
that's true.
Yeah.
That was like
I had some friends who hated it.
really
I had a friend who thought it was very self-indulgent. But
self-indulgent. Interesting.
yeah, but it's. And I thought it was too, but I thought it was good. That was great. It was so art. It was so
Well,
artistic.
I see. So I think he is self. Like I kind of think
We're
his
all
humor is kind of self-indulgent or
self-indulgent.
whatever. Like I can understand like thinking that of him, but I thought like that special was just like perfect for the moment.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know,
Yeah.
just to do the whole thing inside the house all himself.
What else you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Document your insanity.
Uh huh.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I like him. I like the absurd, like, kind of performance artist
Yeah.
style comics.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
You know, like the Andy Kaufman,
Oh my God.
branches, the branches of him.
I mean,
The
it's
red.
pretty.
Yeah.
He's pretty. I mean, he's kind of one of a kind. I mean, I was really into Norm Macdonald, and I
Yeah.
heard people compare him to Andy Kaufman at one point. Like, if
Yeah.
they're saying like,
I've heard a few Norm Macdonald jokes. I don't know where the Kaufman comparison comes from, but that's only 'cause I haven't. I'm not. I hate comedy.
let me
I hate
let me.
comedy.
I wonder if I can remember
I
what
hate
the
all of
claim
them.
was. He was. Oh, he had this. There's a story about how he ran into like a guy Joe Rogan on a plane, and he said, "Oh yeah, I quit smoking." He said, "That's such a He's like, "Yeah." And then he went out, and then they got off the plane, and he went straight to some like gift shop in the airport and bought a pack of cigarettes and started smoking it because he's like, "Oh, it just got me into the." You know, we were talking about it at the airplane. It just made me want to start again.
We want to start again. Yeah.
And something like, where they're saying like, is he really this guy,
Oh,
or is he
and that
just
was like, is he putting on a character?
right? You just don't
Yeah.
know if he's in character.
Yeah, I see what you mean. In his like
I mean, it's pretty
day to
tame.
day.
It's pretty tame stuff, but
No, who did that fucking Joaquin Phoenix?
yeah,
Did
yeah,
some
that
funny
that was an
shit.
absurd thing.
That
Yeah.
wasn't Kaufman. That's stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess Jim Carrey got really into his portrayal
I
of Andy
know.
Kaufman.
Jim Carrey is not Jim Carrey.
He's like his own Zen.
I do
essence.
not exist. He's sad. That's what he says. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but that's entertaining for sure.
You know what it is? When you don't have a day job, and you just have all this money and fucking agents doing everything for you
Uh-huh.
and organizing your whole life
Uh-huh.
and just doing all the hard work, then your mind can just fall into insanity. Oh, I gotta play this character in this movie. He's a madman. And
So
just,
have you planned for being famous and stuff? Like no, I shouldn't. That's a bad question. But like
of course I have.
yeah.
Of course I have. No. I don't know. I think it's constantly learning. I was like talking to my friend. It's like because of the writer's strike and the salaries
Mhm.
and actors strike and everyone's getting poor and shitty salaries and stuff. It's like you can be famous and broke, which is like the worst hell. That is the worst hell. To
Yeah.
be well known and broke. Like, fuck that. Then everyone knows you and bothers you, but you have nothing
I
to show for it.